Drive Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Outdoor Drive Podcast. This is your boy East Coast Trev, and
this is Steve.
What's up, Steve?
No, just sitting here being just Steve.
Just Steve. Oh man, I'm pretty excited about this podcast. Honestly, to talk to these boys. We haven't talked to the Latitude boys in a long time.
Yeah, it's been good to catch up, and you can definitely tell they're on the grind.
Oh, for sure.
Like they
dude.
are
they're
getting it.
There's so much going on in their factory, in their lives. So much changed in their lives since the last time we've talked to them. So it's definitely good to have them on. You know, I can't wait until the relief of, you know, everything is out and about, and these guys can just really focus on having fun and enjoying things again, because you can definitely feel the stress in their lives. But they're the good stress.
It's
man,
a good
not
stress.
The bad stress.
Yeah,
it's not
they are,
the bad stuff.
They
They're
are
in a good
worn out
place.
because they are doing what they love. And I'll be up front.
So,
they are worn out because they are wiped out from trying to bring you the best.
Which is the right thing, man. And you know, 2 new babies. Congratulations to those guys. And it's just one of those things, man. I mean, they just keep on grinding and keep on going, dude. So, it's a good podcast. It's definitely a good podcast, and I'm looking forward to some of the, you know, the little tidbits that they kind of release throughout the podcast, because it's definitely going to evolutionize.
There's no confirmation in there, but there is some things potentially coming. So they've released the fact. Well,
they've released the fact of those things. Yeah,
but
in the sticks, they released the fact of the sticks too.
Yeah, they're
Both
doing them.
Things.
We just they can't put a timeline. They can't say when.
Right.
But I will tell you from off recording conversations, they're going to be insane. That's all I'll say.
That's right. That's all that matters, man. It's one of those things, man. So what have you been up to this week? Anything good?
Oh, dude. 4th of July weekend was a blast. I mean, of course, it's the wife's birthday, so on the 3rd, we went out. We got to hang out and barbecue with some friends. Every other day, Friday to Monday, we were on the river. You know, we took the new boats out, got the kayaks in the river, and fished our brains out, and just had a great freaking weekend. I mean, it doesn't get any better. 4 days straight on the river is, I mean, that's heaven.
There's nothing better than that. My weekend started off as tuna fishing, then striper fishing, then
I was gonna say, you guys smoked
4th
some
of
tuna.
July. Yeah, we did. We went out as a wreck. We went out as commercial fishing to catch giants, and then the first one to come to the back of the boat was a 60-incher, so that thing got stuck. So now we're recreational fishing. So for you guys that don't know how that works out, so anything over 73 is a commercial fish. That fish needs to be sold. You cannot obtain that fish without a commercial permit, and it has to be sold. And so once you're commercial fishing, you're commercial fishing. You cannot keep rec limits. So, and vice versa. So if you keep a rec fish, then you cannot be commercial fishing anymore. So you can have 1 medium and 3 smalls. So a medium is 47 inches to 72 inches. So 47 to 72, and then you can keep 3 smalls, which are 27 to 47. So we ended up killing a 61 inch or something like that. And then, excuse me, then the next fish that came in, we ended up, it was actually 46 and some change. So it was like right in that window. So that's
how you cut the line.
And that happens a lot, bro. Like, wow. And, so we had a small and then a medium. It was phenomenal. What a great day. It's always good to fish with my good buddy Mike, Captain Mike. Not the Captain Mike you guys are thinking about. It's just Mr. Mike Bodzwinski. And we had a good friend of ours, Bill Stratton, out with us also. So it was cool to fish with those guys again. And we got to get in it and killed a big tuna. And we did, bluefin tuna is one of those fish that it either has to be cooked fresh or eaten fresh, normally sashimi, sushi style. It's more of a raw fish, raw tuna.
Well, you guys had the lemons on the boat, right?
No, we didn't eat them on the boat or nothing. But but those fish, it doesn't keep for maybe a week or so
Right.
in the fridge. And when you have that much tuna, so I didn't know what the hell to do with it, bro. Like I'm like, we ate poke bowls. We made, sashimi. I did it on cucumbers with ponzu sauce. And I mean, there's a million other ways. And I was totally tuned out. And I'm like, well, I don't want to waste all this fish that I have. We split it 3 ways in these 2 fish. And so I started doing a little research. So I went out and literally bought a pressured can cooker and I canned everything.
My man, I'm impressed.
So then so I have literally canned tuna, and it is the best canned tuna I've ever had in my life. And I don't know how long it's going to last because I'm literally eating it all the time. Like I had it for lunch today.
you won't see how long it lasts.
I was so pissed that I gave a lot of it away because I was like, dude, I can can this stuff. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And like, I'm trying to like talk to my commercial buddies and I'm like, all right, if you get a bunch of yellowfin, let me know because I want to buy them so that I can can them. Like having to can everything. So, and then the weekend had gone on and I had fished with what we'll call him my step uncle. He's not really my uncle, but whatever for just terms. And we went out and we actually used the flutter spoons.
Oh, snap.
Dude.
What'd you think?
Bro. Insanity. Like I was stubborn. And I mean, not stubborn, but I wanted to see kind of what the difference is. We're fishing 2 different lures side by side. So Mike, that I had fished with that day, another Mike, we had fished with, he was using a flutter spoon and I was using the traditional diamond jig. And we were fishing side by side. And he had never fished a flutter spoon before, and neither had I. But I have fished diamond jigs religiously every day. So we literally fished side by side, and he was out fishing me 2-to-1.
Damn.
On a flutter spoon to a diamond jig. And the other thing was with the flutter spoon over the diamond jig is he was literally catching stripers and I was catching bluefish.
No kidding.
So he had caught 2 or 3 stripers and a couple of bluefish, and I literally caught all bluefish. So it was cool to see that and use that. He was like, you want to try the flutter jig? I'm like, nah, man, I'll just keep fishing when I'm fishing.
No,
you fish what you fish, and let's see what it does. And it was cool, man. It was definitely cool to fish something differently. And then I had talked to one of my buddies from the dock a couple of days later after we had fished the flutter spoons, and he was telling me that in the 70s they had fished crocodile. So crocodile made a big spoon just like a flutter spoon.
Yeah.
And they had fished them back in the day in the 70s, and that's all they would fish with. And it kind of like went up to the wayside. And then now Nicholas and back. Tony Montera made another flutter spoon. So it's cool to fish. It was cool to see and actually kind of, see what it does. And it worked. It was definitely an awesome thing.
Yeah, you got the side-by-side comparison that it actually works. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a one-time off situation. It worked.
No pun intended on the fluke. No.
Right. But no, that's badass.
Yeah,
that is cool.
It was cool. It was cool. It was cool to use it and kind of see it in the action. They're tough to find, and I don't know. I guess from my understanding, with the research on it, that they're literally fishing these things in less than 20 feet of water also. So they're not only, we were fishing them in big water, 80 to 100 feet with fast currents, but they're also fishing these flutter spoons in 20 feet of water.
No
and
kidding.
Doing the same thing. Yeah. So the versatility on this lure is huge. So it's definitely a cool lure. I'm definitely going to try and put in some more time with it and definitely play around with it a little bit more. So it was definitely cool.
That's
definitely
sweet.
cool to see it, especially in the work.
Just going from having that conversation on the show to you going out there and doing it and confirming it. I mean, that's pretty sweet.
I never heard of them.
Yeah.
Or never seen them. And now you're seeing them a little bit more. These guys are talking about them more. I've had a couple of guys actually ask me questions about them. And I was like, yeah, they work. I confirmed that they work. So we'll see what happens and what it brings. But well, we should get to the sponsors and the family of the podcast. What do you think, man?
Yeah, man, let's roll into it.
All right, let's start it off. We are presented by Huntworth, huntworthgear.com. This is real gear, guys. This is something you guys definitely want to go and check out. Like we had said in prior podcasts, we have put this thing to the test. It's really good gear. It's Sitka at 80% less of the price and 100% the quality. Bowfishing Magazine, bowfishingmagazine.com for you bow fishermen out there, or even non-bow fishermen, as I always say. Go and check them out. It's an online magazine, real cool. Subscribe to it. Kind of some good things going on, deals, just things going on in the bow fishing industry. Nor'easter Game Calls, nor'eastergamecalls.com. Guys, listen, this, you're going to hear it here first. There's 28 new grunt tubes coming out on the website here in the next couple of days, maybe the next week. There is a bunch of Jurassic series grunt tubes about to release. Also, these are a little bit more pricey. We're going to go with $129.99 on those. They are a little bit, but they have the Damascus band and they are in mammoth ivory. And then the other grunt tubes are going to go for $79 to $89, depending on what you're going to go with. So guys, go over there, check those guys out. nor'eastergamecalls.com. Mr. Mark Buzzle doing his thing on the lathe, killing it, and got some really good stuff. So, and you know, we're going to bring some of these products with us up to Huntstock and give some of them away. So you want to make sure to get up there and check those guys out while you're up there. Latitude Outdoors, latitudeoutdoors.com. Guys, the Method 2 and the Classic 2, probably one of the best saddles. And you guys will hear about it, so I don't want to dive too much into it, but check them out, latitudeoutdoors.com. Zues Broadheads, New Era Archery. Listen, let me tell you something. We know about the Zues. The Zues is still on sale at neweraarchery.com, but the new broadhead that's coming out from Zues Broadheads, we'll have to have Nick Albanese on here to talk about the new broadhead, because this thing is phenomenal. I'm super pumped. Seen a couple of different pictures of it. Nick's kind of tested it out on his Facebook and stuff like that. So this thing has a new thing coming down the line. Check them out, neweraarchery.com. And last but not least, Vital Ground Outdoors, vitalgroundoutdoors.com. Mr. Matt over there, you guys have heard his podcast. If you guys haven't, get back on to that. Check it out. He's got a lot of really cool things going on. It's that time of the year where you should definitely be getting your climbing system down and figuring out what you want to do. He is the man of the AM steel. Check him out, vitalgroundoutdoors.com.
Smooth.
That is it. That was
a lot smoother than last week.
Yeah, because I had my fucking notebook, bro. What do you mean? Like, it's not that so they come and go. Sponsorships come and go, so I forget sometimes. And I'm not that normal dude that's like, I remember everything. I'm like, bro, do you know how many things go through my head? And even while reading
anyone who knows you, that there are a million things going through your head.
Dude, and the worst thing is, like, right now, obviously I'm prepping for deer season, so like I'm on nutrient supplements, caffeine pills, fucking weight loss pill. Like, my mind is, I don't need caffeine, but I'm on caffeine, and I'm using this pre-workout called Bucked Up. I don't know. I guess the labeling is what got me, right? There was a big buck on it, and there was 3 of them together, and I had gone to GNC, and I said to the lady, I says, what is the cleanest one? She's like, one of these 3. And I just look, and there's a giant rack buck on this one, and I'm like, that's the one. That's definitely the one. So that's kind of got me a little bit twisted.
So you've never heard of Bucked Up before?
No, dude, I've never been in that. We used to take C4 pre-workout, but it's fucking garbage. You get it from Walmart, and it's just so I'm on this whole Bucked Up, and it's definitely a clean pre-workout.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, it's definitely very good. It's
not overpowering. It's legit. It's actually got good.
I don't know what you're talking about overpowering, because
it's healthy. It's not gonna blow your heart up.
Well, that's what I don't understand. So there's Bucked Up, and then there's like Mega Bucked Up, it's Mega AF, and I'm afraid to take that one, dude. Like, they say Bucked Up's bad.
Yeah, work through your Bucked Up before you jump up. That's like conditioning for the big stuff. The other stuff is big boy game.
Yeah, I'm glad because I almost grabbed the AF and I'm like, whoa, hold on. And I'm glad I didn't because, I mean, the bucked up does what it needs to do. I could see where the other stuff would definitely work, but I'm not ready for that yet. But anyways, I don't know where we just went on that tangent.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Why don't we get to the News Free Cruise and see what Mr. Mike Salter's got to say?
Let's do it. Bringing you the news for the cruise is our good buddy Mike Salter. Take it away, Mike.
Hey everyone, we're going to start this one off with a couple new bills. First in Congress, where Bill H.R. 8167 has been proposed, which would effectively repeal the Pitman Act. The bill proposes removing nearly all excise taxes on hunting and fishing equipment, keeping only a few which would be severely capped. The Pitman Act is the leading funding source for wildlife conservation in the U.S. 80% of that funding goes to wildlife restoration grants, with the majority of the remaining going to hunter education. If this bill moves forward, it could have a massive impact on conservation of game species, public lands, and hunter education. So please reach out to your legislators and oppose this bill. Now to PA, where the Senate Bill 431 has been proposed to modernize and simplify how hunters purchase antlerless deer licenses. The bill would effectively eliminate the dreaded pink envelopes and allow hunters to purchase their antlerless deer licenses over the counter on huntfish.pa.gov. Unfortunately, these changes cannot be made without legislative approval, so contact your legislators to voice your support for this change. Also in PA, the Board of Game Commissioners will be meeting on July 8th and 9th. At this meeting, the board will be discussing a concept from the Bureau of Wildlife Management to reintroduce a predator to Pennsylvania, which was extirpated in the early 1900s. The plan is to reintroduce American marten. The board will decide on whether or not to approve the concept and authorize staff to proceed with a development and reintroduction and management plan. Now to Connecticut, where the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection has developed a bass action plan for management of both largemouth and smallmouth bass in the state, with the goal of improving bass fishing in the state. The department is looking for feedback from anglers and will hold a public informational session on July 12th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. You can provide comments on the plan and register for the public info session on the department's website. Now for a change affecting any hunters going to Canada or Mexico to pursue game birds. Due to the spread of avian influenza, U.S. hunters will not be allowed to bring unmounted birds or game meat back to the U.S. The restriction applies in Canada to 63 restricted zones throughout Ontario, Alberta, Quebec, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Those zones can be found on inspection.canada.ca and by searching highly pathogenic avian influenza zones. Any unmounted game bird trophies from these zones must be consigned to an APHIS-approved taxidermy shop to be imported back into the U.S. As for Mexico, any unprocessed avian products will not be allowed into the U.S., so be sure to check the restrictions before traveling to hunt birds in both Canada and Mexico. Lastly, a couple of news items out of Kansas. First, after a 3-year investigation, 9 people have been charged in a large poaching case. The poached animals include 25 deer with an average score of 173 inches, which many have been shot without permits and out of season. 1 antelope, 8 turkeys, and other illegally taken wildlife. 140 charges were filed. Fees and restitution were ordered of up to $45,000 for one individual, who also received a 10-year hunting revocation, and other hunters received fines and restitution as well, and revocation of hunting licenses for 1 and 2 years. As always, wish the punishment was steeper, but a good outcome nonetheless. Now to the good in Kansas, where accessing public hunting and fishing lands is getting a little bit easier for folks. Starting this month, hunters and anglers will be able to use a new system, which is part of the Department of Wildlife and Parks' all-new license purchasing system, Go Outdoors KS. Hunters and anglers will no longer need a separate login to check in and out of department-managed properties, as the licensing system and mobile app are now fully integrated. The new system can be accessed online or through the new mobile app and provides an all-in-one access for hunters and anglers. So a great step forward there. As always, I appreciate anything you've been sending along. Some news coming in from all over the place. Reach out to me at Mike Salter on Facebook or bearded_bowhunter21 on Instagram. And with that, enjoy the rest of your ride.
the man of many important words. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Guys, if you guys have news for your crews, please make sure to reach out to him either on Instagram. You can email us. You can head over to theoutdoordrive.com. Contact us there however you need to. I don't care if you streak down the middle of the road with a sign if you want to get our attention, but please get my man Mike Salter some news for your crews. It's very important to us.
Yeah,
So.
and this week, man, I really want to support and back up what he said about the Pitman Robertson Act. It's stupid. I mean,
So listen, dude, I know it's a rabbit hole and it's probably one that we probably don't want to go on. And especially, we're trying to get to the episode, but listen, so my thing about it, and I don't understand it, is the guy that kind of proposed this whole thing, he owns a gun shop.
yeah.
And I don't understand, and I don't know if the Republicans are trying to bring back money and be like, oh, I saved you on taxes, like that's their win. But they're taking away. I mean, dude, last year
They're
alone,
taking away hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Bro, it's $1 billion.
Yeah.
Last year was over $1 billion raised on the Pitman Act.
Well,
and
that's thanks to all the guns bought.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But in all reality, let's be honest, dude, that's not a government issued thing. The government wasn't like, oh, we need the Pitman Robertson Act. That was a self-proclaimed act that was from the manufacturers to put that money towards conservation.
Yes.
And I don't understand why we're trying to take that away. That there's a lot of money that goes to good
there's
things.
one way to shut down the tree huggers. Hey, look, sportsmen aren't paying for it anymore. Your turn. Oh, you guys can't do anything. It would be an absolute train wreck.
I don't think that it would actually pass, dude.
No, there's
I don't think
no
way. That it honestly could. But I mean, my thing is you really need to be on your toes when it comes to that. I mean, call your representatives, tell them that you don't have a problem paying this, or you will pay this. You don't have a problem with that. That is there for the right reason. I mean, you definitely want to stay on your toes and watch out what's going on. I mean, it's definitely 100% and bring it to attention. Do we think it's going to happen?
Here's a theory. If in the 1.001% chance that did pass, reach your representatives and just tell them, look, if you're not going to take it here, I'm going to donate that percentage of my money to gun rights groups. And they'll change your tune real quick.
Well, I agree with you 110%. We need to do something. I don't know. I'm just blown away, but we just need to pay attention.
It's going to be as simple as call your rep and say, I'm against it. Because anyone in their right mind is not going to try to shut this down. I mean, it's stupid. Why in the hell would you? That's why we have public land.
As a Republican, I don't know why they would even want to pass something like this, to be honest with you.
We won't.
There's got to be.
We won't go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
That's
that's
for another type of podcast.
But you guys really do need to pay attention to that, and go and message your representatives or call your representatives and let them know that you're against that, because this needs to happen. We can't. I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't. I don't think it physically could happen.
No, there's no way there's enough people in the U.S. to support it.
Billions.
Because
it's
even if you're not a hunter or a fisherman, if you like going out and being able to hike, your trails are provided by this fund.
Yeah,
if you want to park somewhere nice and camp, these are provided by this fund.
Well, that goes back to the fact of how many people that are bird peepers that don't pay. So they're enjoying the same thing as, if we don't give it to them, then they're definitely not.
Yeah.
But just pay attention to it. Get online, check it out, find out which representatives, how to get a hold of your representative. Tell them that you definitely believe in it, because we do not need these problems. But we just need to stay on top of these things and inform them that what we do and do not. I mean, your vote definitely counts, and so does your opinion. And you need to let those guys know. We don't need to get into politics.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like the deepest I think we've ever gone into politics.
Don't. Yeah. There's a reason why, man, because I have very strong beliefs, and I know that you do too, and you stand behind them. And I don't think that, I think everybody who's a supporter or listener of our podcast probably believes the same exact thing, and they don't need to hear it twice. I mean, they just don't. It's just not worth it, right?
Yeah. If you want the details,
we don't bring politics here.
Go look them up somewhere else. That's not us. Yeah. That's not what we do. But we stand strongly on the side of no.
Correct. For sure. Well, let's get this podcast going, man. Let's go. Let's get the boys from Latitude on.
All right, here we go.
All right, we're back on the phone with the boys from Latitude. What's up, guys?
Hey, not much. We're busy over here.
I could only imagine. I mean, you guys have kind of come out of it with a bang this year. I mean, it's impressive. You guys have been at a ton of shows, got a ton of things going on. You guys did ATA this year too?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yep. We got a lot going on right now.
I feel like last time we talked, we were talking about kind of rounding out that core portfolio of products. We had the saddles, but we need the sticks and the platforms. And, it's just been pedal to the metal on those two items this entire year. It seems like it's been longer than that, but so we're trying to round that out this year, and we're very close. So it's a busy time over here.
That's awesome, man.
Exciting time too.
Well, and then top that off with Alex just had a kid, so congratulations officially.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone, make sure that you reach out at midnight, 1 o'clock or so when you're. Just
anytime I'm around. Anytime I'll be there. Yeah.
Well, why don't we start this thing off, man? Let's turn this key. Let's get this thing in overdrive. Why don't you guys tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do for those that are living under rocks.
Yeah, so I'm Alex Chop, one of the owners of Latitude Outdoors, from Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's where the company's based as well. Born and raised, in Michigan, hunting Michigan. All of our products are developed, tested in Michigan as well. And our product line is largely focused on mobile hunting, right? So we have saddles right now, like I mentioned, and then climbing sticks, platforms. Those are coming out later this summer. And then we got a variety of accessories as well that we've had for a while. And, we're always playing around with new concepts and new products. So you're going to see a lot of new stuff come out over the next couple of years. So.
Yeah, and I'm Jake Metallic, also born and raised. I guess I wasn't born in West Michigan. I was born in the Detroit area, but raised in West Michigan, Grand Rapids area. Went to school in Michigan at the University of Michigan. Then got a job in the automotive industry primarily. So, very regionally based in upbringing and experience, and been just an avid hunter and fisherman my whole life, as well as Alex and our other partner Kevin, who's not going to be on here tonight with us, but yeah, and like Alex said, we all kind of have a lot of different each of us has our own skill set that we kind of bring to the table in this endeavor. And we got a lot of cool stuff coming out here shortly for everybody. And, we're real excited about it. So
just a little background. So Jake and I, we grew up together. We met when we were probably 10 years old. And then both of us went to college, and then we met Kevin. Actually, Jake met Kevin on the football team there. Kevin was a linebacker on the team, and ironically, Jake's dad did surgery on his knee while we were in college, and that's how we got connected with him. So,
I was trying to walk on to the team as a kicker at the time, and Kevin picked me up in front of the student union, honestly, in his old purple Chevy Cavalier, and took me down to meet some of the the staff down there, and kind of got me in the door. So
yeah, well, Kev is
I already know Jake's
a
smart guy because he was trying to go on as the kicker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wise. He's always been wise beyond his years. Yeah.
Yes, I will agree with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So you guys have quite the relationship that has kind of built up to what you guys are doing today.
Yeah, I mean, we're just more so than business partners. We're just longtime fishing and hunting buddies. And, I think all of us are just trying to make this our whole life, right? Because that's what we love to do. Mm-hmm. And honestly, we're living a dream right now. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard. But, we get to talk hunting and think about hunting 100% of the time with some of our best friends. So, I mean, it's awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's really what it's all about, honestly, is that camaraderie, that good friendship, and kind of move it forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly why I do it. I mean, it's definitely not at least so far, it's definitely not for the money. So, but I mean, the opportunity to do this with two of my best friends is just incredible. I mean, we're talking about hunting trips we're going to go on, and I mean, it's fun. Like, what products are we going to test this year? And it's a blast. We're very, very thankful to be doing this.
Yeah, it's a year ago when we talked. You guys were excited getting this thing rolling. Now you guys are swamped. You're busy. You're beat down and broke, and you're still getting it. How did this first year pan out for you guys? Did you guys learn a lot, do a lot, earn a lot? How did it go?
I'll say one thing, and I'm sure Alex will, get into that. But Alex makes it sound like we're real, beat down and everything and burned out. But, that's just because we make it that way for ourselves, right? We're very, driven. We're very committed to this. So, we're all in or nothing.
You can literally say you guys don't sleep.
Yeah. We're pedal to the metal right now, and we've got a lot of exciting things coming. So no sleeping until that's done.
Awesome.
That's right. That's what real business guys do.
You don't get that from a lot of companies these days. So,
yeah. I mean, keep in mind too, like, there's a little bit of added stress right now too, because we all just quit we all had other careers, right? I mean.
Oh, so you guys went 100%. I know you guys had talked about taking that jump last time we talked. So you guys all just went in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We burned the boats. The boats have been burned, we're doing this. So it's added a level of stress. And then, if you pile on, so Kevin actually has a new baby at home too. So I think we tried to make this as stressful as possible. Motivating, right? But
I want to congratulate you guys, but at the same time, I'm going, man, does someone need to come play nurse and nanny?
Yeah.
What is that saying? If you can't handle me at your worst, then you can't handle me at your best. I mean, if you guys aren't living that true statement, I don't know who is, to be honest with you.
I know it's go ahead. What were you going to say, Jake?
I was just going to say we're handling it.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. No, it's honestly an amazing thing. And then to come out with a new product right now. I mean, you have the platforms that are on a pre-sale right now.
Yep.
Which is kind of crazy. Yeah,
I mean, so yeah, that's one of the big categories in our world, right? Is the platform. You got to have something to stand on in the tree. So we have two different models of that platform. One is called the XWing and the other is called the Rebel. We tested both of those all last season. We ran them, all three of us, and probably 5 other guys last year ran them all season on every hunt. So hundreds of hunts have been done in these. Once we were happy with them, we decided to launch them for pre-order. So that's where we are right now. The first ones have actually been cut. And so we're in that process of building up inventory so that we can ship them out at the end of July. And then it'll bleed into August too with the orders we have right now, but they are available. So we're excited about it.
Absolutely. And I want to go back to Steven's question, because I think it's great, on how did the year go for you? Like, was it as you has expected, or?
Our expectations, I guess we're kind of naive, right? Like we're new to this. What are our expectations? We have nothing to base it on, but we're very happy with how last year went. We have a long way to go. But we're definitely happy with how last year went. We'll see what happens this year. You know, this whole industry is interesting because everything happens after July. So you spend your whole year trying to plan and deal with cash flow and pay for all the gear that you have to, you know, have it in inventory to be able to sell for the second half of the year, which is an extreme challenge in this business because it's so capital intensive. So we'll see what happens, right? The economy, the world is a mess right now. And so we'll see, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Kind of build on that, you know, from the start, one of the big opportunities in this little niche of an industry, and you know, something that we really strive to achieve for our customers is quick turnaround and, you know, small lead times and good customer service. So, you know, that being one of our priorities just kind of accentuates any, you know, potential pains in the supply chain or, you know, anything like Alex mentioned there. So we're not just, you know, flying by the seat of our pants and stuff gets done when it gets done type of thing. You know, we when you place an order on our site, you know, we want to get it to you the next day. So
That's all.
And you guys withhold that. I mean, that definitely is a thing.
I was just fixing to say it's not an issue because anything and everything we've ever ordered is like, crap, it's already here.
I mean, once the product is done, right? Like the platforms, they're not done yet, but we have to offer pre-orders sometimes because of cash, right? Like we have to have cash to finish the product, to get inventory. So there's certain products that we have to do pre-orders for. But once we have the product going, once we get over that hump, then yeah, I mean, our goal is always to have same day shipping, not next day, right? I mean, we have same day shipping on anything that we have in stock. So that's always the goal. So.
I mean, that's like with the saddles, like, you know, when I had started to saddle hunt and you would go to a company and it would be 8 months lead time or 6 months lead time. And you'd be like, what? Like the season's about to start. When I had first started, like try and find a manufactured saddle, if you didn't order it 6 months prior to the hunting season, you would not have it for hunting season. I would get it. My first saddle, I didn't get until almost October, and then having to learn in the middle of season how to saddle hunt. And you're like, what in the world? And then to be with somebody like you and you guys, like, I'll text Alex and say, hey, do you guys have it? Done. It's done. It's a wrap. Like it's there the next day. There's no questions. No qualms about it at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, up until even I'd say this year, right, the market accepted lead times on everything. But what you're going to start to see is, you know, companies are becoming more sophisticated. And if you want to be competitive, you're going to have to deliver fast. Mm-hmm. So you're going to start to see a gap between, you know, the top tier companies and then all the other guys, right? You're going to start to see that gap get wider and wider and wider because it goes back to that cash flow issue. And all of that is getting bigger right now and putting more strain on companies. So, you know, that adds to the stress, right? Competition is good. It breeds innovation, and all of us have to do better at everything, product, delivery, and everything in between. So it's going to be interesting to see who sticks around and who kind of falls off here.
And who stays on top.
Yeah, I mean, things are going to get really competitive here. So
that's awesome.
It'll be good for the consumer.
Absolutely. And even with you guys coming out with a carbon platform, I mean, that's huge. I mean, there's talk of other companies having them, but nobody's like, and you guys are in that motion of having it.
Well, so the sticks are carbon, the platforms are aluminum.
Oh, okay. All right. That's where, okay. Sorry. I got messed up because sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. So we had talks of doing a carbon platform, and just timeline wise, we just decided not to do it. We have one. We couldn't get it done in time. So we decided to stick with the aluminum, and the aluminum is really nice. So there's challenges with a carbon platform, right? You've got teeth interacting with the tree, which is a major pain point for a carbon platform. So there are challenges there, challenges that need to be vetted and tested, right? So we just weren't comfortable rushing that. The aluminum platforms that we do have coming out spec-wise, you know, you're going to see some carbon platforms come out, but the aluminum platforms that we have spec-wise are going to be very competitive. And you could argue that there's some advantages as well.
Well, so, and I do laugh because some of those carbon platforms that, you know, some companies are going, oh, look at this. And then you go, great, tell me about it. And they go, well, we can't yet. We haven't tested it. It's like, well, why did you release it? Now you just look the fool. Here's a cool idea, guys, but it's not practical.
Well, it goes back to that. It goes back to how competitive things are getting in our market, right? Like everybody's racing to be able to say they were the first, yada, yada, yada. And there is value in being first, but the product's got to work. You know,
I think that's a dangerous thing, a dangerous line to play with, though, because along with there being you being the first, you can also be the first to get crushed. And especially with a product like that, you know what I'm saying? Where today's world with social media and podcasts and this, that, and the other thing, if you were to, you know, you made a smart decision by not expediting the fact of having a carbon platform, because if you were to mess up on one part of it, now that could bring you down and kill you from the start.
Yeah. I mean, a platform, it's too important of a category, right? And with that being said, we would never launch something that we weren't totally confident in. I mean, that's just not that's not our brand, right? Like we're kind of we suck at marketing, and we're kind of the like engineering techie guys, if you ask the public. And so, but we're seen that way because that's actually how we are. I mean, right. we suck at marketing. Like if we've tried to make like some funny commercials, and it just doesn't work. So it's just like embarrassing. So we're like, screw it. So
Evan out there like, hey, this is the Method saddle. Slap it on the side of a truck and stick it to the truck with the magnets. Like, oh, I almost laughed at that.
I applaud the creativity.
Yeah, that's great.
I see creativity. Where it could go. But yeah, and that's one thing is when you sit down and you try to film that yourself, you do feel ridiculous. You really do.
I know. And I mean, we're always going to be us. And like, we are product people. We love the product. And if we could just think about product 100% of the time, that's what we would do. We want something that's just awesome in our hands when it's done. That's all we really care about. So that's what drives us, right? So when we talk about rushing a product to market, everything takes us longer because we're really particular about it. Like these sticks, they took us 2.5 years. I mean,
they're still going.
But it is what it is. But it is what it is. Honestly, I mean, look at how thought through your saddles are, and your 2-panel saddle. I mean, they're so thought through all the way back to those magnets. I mean, that's a game changer in the saddle world. Like, you know, the packability, honestly, because now you're wearing it as a weight belt and not as a saddle. And one of the things that a lot of people have a problem with is wearing it into the woods and that packability to get to where they're going. So that's a very thought out process where I would rather wait a long time to have the right product than to get it fast and it not be thoroughly thought through.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you bring up the magnets because like we had the magnets before the Method 1, right? And right. But the problem is we couldn't figure out, there were 2 issues. We couldn't figure out how to efficiently sew them into the chassis of the saddle. And we couldn't figure out how to prevent corrosion on the magnets. So we had to design a custom coating on those magnets to make sure that they never corrode and last they'll last forever.
Until you just said that, I would have never considered that.
They'll rust. Those things they'll corrode and just stop working. Oh yeah. Right. So it's like and the other thing is magnets stick to a sewing machine. So the process of sewing it's a disaster. And so the clips were they worked better. Right. So that's what we did is the first one had the clips because the magnets weren't ready to go. And so anyway, just an example.
No, that's crazy because it's so thought out and it's done properly.
It's a good example to the thought and process you guys are putting into your product. It's not a, hey, we can do this now, and hey, the magnets go bad and we could sell more or whatever, deal with replacements. No, you said we're not releasing it till it's right. And that's the case right now with where you guys are at. There's something incredible coming. Things are ready to go, but until it's right, you're not going to make that business move to put it in someone's hands and ask them to trust their lives to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't want to, oversell or, overpromise anything until then either. So.
Yep. Under promise, over deliver.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we release something, right, it's something that we would buy ourselves. If we didn't own the company and somebody released our product, we would choose to buy that product. Mm-hmm. That's how we do things. We have conversations. I say, Kev and I, we all look at each other and say, would you buy this? Would you spend your money on this? If we weren't involved, would you buy these sticks? And the answer has to be yes, all around the table. Otherwise, we're not doing it. So
right.
Gotcha. It's just important to us.
So why don't we dive into the platform a little bit, because it hasn't really all that been talked about. I mean, especially not on our platforms, but platforms. Why don't you dive into it and kind of talk a little bit about the differences, the pluses and minuses to them, and kind of what everyone can expect from them.
So like I said in the beginning, we have two different models. So we have the XWing, and that one kind of named itself on social media when we launched those pictures. Everybody just started calling it the XWing. So it is the XWing now. And it's funny because Facebook doesn't allow us to put that on, you have the Facebook shop. So we have like a Facebook Latitude shop. Facebook won't allow us to put that product on there because it's named
Star
the
Wars.
X-Wing. Yeah. So little minor oversight there. So anyway, that's funny. And then we have the Rebel. So the X-Wing is designed for pivoting. So it kind of gives you that feel of a ring of steps, and it's super lightweight. It's only 2.5 pounds. So there's a couple key features on that, and it's hard. I should have had one here. I didn't know you guys were going to record this on video.
You're good.
But,
don't worry.
So there's a couple key things on there. First, the back edges of the wings, right? They're nice long back edges so that you can get around the tree. Those back edges are in front of the pivot point on the post, and that's extremely important. If you go on another platform that has a back edge behind that pivot point, the platform will actually cam on itself. Mm-hmm. So you have this doesn't get talked about at all, but when I explain this to people, they're like, oh yeah, that's happened to me before. Well, it's a safety issue, right? Like you're supposed to be able to get around the tree, but if you put load on that back edge and it uncams, what's the point? So we made sure to design it so that it's impossible to uncam that platform if you step on those back edges. The wings, the front edge of the wings also create a perpendicular edge for your feet. And again, this is tough to explain without showing you, but basically that helps with pivoting, because if you've ever been on the side of a platform, you've probably at one time or another felt gravity pull you into the tree.
Right.
So these perpendicular edges prevent that, because the front edge of that wing acts as a support edge to counteract that pull into the tree. You got to get on the platform to really understand what I'm saying. But those are the two key features of that X-Wing. That one is 100% designed for pivoting and maneuverability around the tree.
So like, especially being a bigger guy, like when I'm on a saddle and you start to go to that one side, it like, I call it like the cam over. Yeah, you know that you're going over, like you're constantly going around, like no question and no slowdown.
It's like centripetal force, right? Just swinging you around the tree. So that extra edge there is supposed to help counteract that, just to give you something to push off of. And then the other platform, the Rebel, the goal with the Rebel was very simple. We just wanted to optimize that surface area to weight ratio. So it's the best available, right? It's a bigger platform. It's nice and wide and long, so you can stand up on it if you need to, but you don't have to sacrifice any weight savings because it's only 2.7 pounds, right? So it's still super lightweight, but it's big. Compare it to, it's a little bit wider than your standard Predator platform. So it's a lot roomier. And it does have some angled edges on it too to help counteract that swing into the tree as well. It's a pentagon shape. You'll have to see a picture of it, but
so and it has the two back. So does that also have that? If you were to get on the back side of it, it will not cam back over. Also,
it's impossible to uncam. Yep.
So then, I guess if it's impossible to uncam it, how do you go about camming it compared to other platforms?
Work exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was something different on it or.
No. So there's not to get into the weeds, but there are shoulders on the top of that platform. So you'll see some platforms that don't have welded shoulders. And the reason they get rid of those is because it's a very costly step in the manufacturing process. That's why our platforms are $300, right? They're expensive platforms, but they're expensive for a reason. Those shoulders are extremely important for that camming action. If you don't have shoulders like that, your post has to be an L shape, right? And that means that you're not able to properly toe kick and cam your platform. But anyway, I don't want to go into the weeds on that, but yeah. So it cams
so
just
you
like a normal.
you do toe kick your
Our
platform.
platforms cam exactly like exactly like your platforms. You would your standard platforms, right?
That's crazy. No, that's awesome. I think it's great in that you've once again gone above and beyond what everybody else has done or tried to do in the past.
Well, yeah, we'll see how it's, sales pre-orders have been good on them so far, but we recognize that they are very expensive platforms. But we chose to go that route because we believed in the technology and we believed in the material. The problem is machined aluminum that has to go through, 4 different steps versus a cast platform that gets popped out of a mold is a lot more expensive to make. So,
especially this day and age.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I mean,
well, and that's the thing is you get what you pay for. And when it comes to saddle hunting, anyone who's never saddle hunted always has that safety in mind thought, how safe actually is it? Well, if manufacturers keep cutting out the things that make it safe, it's going to continue to cause those thoughts. But you guys are making sure to keep that in. So not only is it safer, it is more higher end on the performance end. I mean, it just works better.
Yeah, I mean, we went the route of no cost spared, right? So, there has to be a balance, and we'll see what the public thinks, right? Like, did we go too far on the premium end, price point wise, or we don't know. We don't know how that's going to all shake out. So,
well, I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing worse than sitting on a platform and it starts getting creaky and falling and kicking out. And I mean, you're tied in, but just when you're standing there and you're comfortable and you don't have tension and you feel that platform move, you guys know the feeling. It'll make you want to change your underwear.
Yeah. I mean, even the damn washers on that platform are custom, right? Like, we hate platforms where it doesn't stay, folded up when you're packing it, and you go to hang the platform and the platform is falling off. Even those damn washers are custom on there. And again, maybe that was a miss on our part, but everything was done to as good as it could be done on that thing. So
that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, honestly, and especially, even the price point, I don't think, like Steven was saying, for the people that are into it and doing it, that's the right way to do if that's what they want. I mean, especially on the pivot point on the XWing, honestly, that definitely piques my interest because you're now not having to carry more gear. So now you're light and your packability is better. You know what I'm saying? Like, where somebody like me, I would carry a platform and 2 different types of steps, so that now I can go around the tree, and having a platform like that, now I can get around the tree and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can it's funny because that the XWing kind of eliminates the need for a ring of steps, but we even added a special alignment slot on the platforms for a ring of steps for the guys who want to run a ring of steps with the platform. So if you ever hung a ring of steps right, you have issues aligning it vertically when you're hanging it on the tree. Well, these platforms have a slot to keep that vertical alignment, so hanging it is super easy. And the reason that exists is because Kev religiously runs a ring of steps every time he hunts, whether he's using a platform or not. But that's one of the big problems he had, is that vertical alignment. So he's like, dude, we got to throw on a slot for the ring of steps. It'll make it a lot easier to hang that. So,
And I think a lot of guys are in that boat where they are set in their ways and that's what they want to do, whether it's 1 step or 2 steps or 3 steps. And then you have that problem with how do you hang all that stuff in one area?
yeah, I mean, it is nice to have a ring of steps with a platform. I mean, then you can really move around the tree. I mean, that's really comfortable, right? On an all day sit or something, it's money. So,
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about, like I do, I always have to put my top stick like right level with that platform to kind of serve that same purpose. But now you can get that extra height and you just got a little, pocket full of, 2 or 3 extra steps. Just toss them on there.
So my question is, and people might ask this, is what is your attachment mechanism that you guys recommend with your platforms?
platforms will ship with a standard cam buckle strap. But we also have AM steel daisy chains and webbing daisy chains, which are a great option for the platforms as well. So that's kind of personal preference. But if you want to get rid of that cam buckle strap, I would look at those webbing daisy chains or the AM steel daisy chains.
They work fine with something like that.
Yeah, I'll do a video on this showing, one of the problems with a daisy chain, right, is like there aren't infinite lengths of the daisy chain because you got loops every so often. So there is a way to, you kind of wrap it around the Versa button on the platform and then kind of thread it back through. I'll do a video to show it, but
so like rope mod style.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not tight enough to cam it over on where it's supposed to be cammed over.
Yeah. If you don't have that like perfect loop distance right around the tree, there is a trick, and I've been meaning to do a video on this, but
and that's kind of one of the. So I used to personally only use daisy chains because it was just easy. You put them on the strap, set it down, and then you go. But then I was finding where now my step is, or whatever I'm using, is too far down and it's not camming over properly. So then I went to rope mods, and now I'm on rope mods just because. But the negative there is that wherever you set it, it doesn't move now. It's locked right there. So like if in your mind, when you're going to set yourself up and you're trying to shift it down just because you want it here instead of here, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Yeah, and that's definitely a negative.
Yeah, they're
more finicky, and that's why all of the platforms they're shipping with the cam buckle strap because it's safe, it's foolproof, it works great, it's easy to put on, easy to adjust. So like the rope mod or the daisy chain is going to be like, I guess your more advanced, experienced saddle hunter is going to be able to upgrade to that, but.
And the reason why I asked that is because you know how the saddle hunters are, because they like to fidget and mess with everything. And,
right.
Maybe it's something that, they were just thinking of. But, I mean, obviously we all recommend the cam buckle to start until you get yourself worked up to what you need to.
I mean, I think a cam buckle with some stealth strip, like they have those stealth strip sleeves, which are really nice for your platform, and then do something for your sticks. We're not going to totally dive into the sticks, but if you're a rope mod guy, you're going to love how the sticks are going to attach. The sticks are 100% metal free. So if you take metal out of all your sticks, including the cam buckle, right, and you only have a cam buckle on your platform, you eliminate a lot of that clinking and clanking. Because that's where it really.
I'm sold. I despise metal with a passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just me being clumsy, I'm like, I got to get rid of metal. So,
I'm-
I'm always like, how did I clank that? I'm being as careful as possible.
Yep.
How is it possible that I just clanked that?
Well, and here's the
But-
craziest thing is you can pile into the woods and not care and not make a sound. It's the second that you try to go quiet, everything clinks.
I know.
Never fails.
I know. Yeah. So
You want to know a cam buckle trick that I actually learned not too long ago? Bike tires tubes.
Ooh, good idea.
that's interesting.
Yeah, bike tire tubes. A lot of people will use them on cam buckles, and then you fasten them to there so that they, because they slide right over, and then you can
Yeah.
put them right on it. And now it's fixed right to it, and then that's that, and you don't have to worry about it. It's
That's
almost
a
a
great
genius.
Jake, write that down. We gotta source some tire tubes or whatever.
Yeah, Goodrich, here we come.
Yeah.
Like bicycle tire tubes. I mean,
Yeah.
they fit perfect.
I
It's just
never
one of those.
thought of that.
Mhm.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's just another silencing thing.
Dude, you just-
That's going to be awesome.
You opened
You're
up
going to
a
see
whole new.
Latitude bike tubes.
Yes. I was going to say, this is going to be the new trend. The new product on the market is going to be custom bike tube covers.
It's a good idea.
They're going to be custom cam buckle covers, actually, but they're actually going to be just bike tires that he outsourced from Walmart.
And stamped them.
Yeah. We'll get the logo on there.
I like it. Hell yeah. Do
That's
those come in
awesome.
custom colors?
Oh yeah.
So obviously, we haven't talked to you guys since last season. How did the season go as far as hunting season went?
We all smoked some small Michigan bucks.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but it was a blast, man. Like last season's, Jake and I, we shot some little Michigan basket racks, right? And Kev shot a Michigan little 10-point, and but so it wasn't the most successful season in the world. Very
I
thankful for the
disagree.
deer we shot.
It sounds
Y'all
very
got
successful
deer.
to me.
Well, I mean, like I wounded, a buck that I was after, and that was not good for me. So
Deer hit a stick 4 feet from the deer.
yeah, I hit this little tiny fucking. Anyway, that's a sore subject.
I hear
Yeah.
you, brother. Had the same issue.
So, but it was a really fun season, and
Yeah.
I learned more last season. When you have the hard seasons, that's when you learn, because it's mistake after mistake after mistake. And you just, looking back, I was just thinking about this, like, at 4 a.m. when a baby was screaming at me, and I was like thinking, I'm like, God,
You should have hit a gun.
I mean,
Alex hit this deer on opening day.
Yeah.
once.
opening
bow.
day in Michigan with my bow. What an idiot.
Shotgun would have done the trick, Al.
Yeah. But you always learn more on the hard seasons. So like, I'm really excited to get back out there this year, and you're not going to have a killer season every year. So
Those learning
Right.
pains are the best years, the growing years. That's what I call them, the growing years, because they, you learn so much about those deer that are local that like it just clicks in your head and you're like, why didn't I think of this before? I had to fail 3 times, almost
Yeah.
fall out of the tree, and now I know that deer came that way. Like, duh.
yeah, I mean, there were so many like, what the hell was I doing memories from last year. Like, but it's good. It's good. It's all good. I mean, you got to have that. You got to have those. That's how you learn. So it was good.
And you were able to put all your new products to test and spend
Yeah.
time in the woods.
Got plenty of time got plenty of time on the new products. That's for sure. I mean, God, I was hunting. God, I went to Wisconsin in January, for God's sake. So I was hunting for a long time last year. So
How was that?
it was
Sunny.
it was cold. Like, it was the week before ATA, so I don't even remember the date, but it was that week that it was like,
Yeah, that was a
single
massive
digits.
freeze.
yeah, you remember? Yeah, so it was I would call it a nearly impossible hunt. But we saw a bunch of deer, just no bucks, and it was fun. We went out with the guys from Exodus Trail Cameras and Dan Infault and his buddy Josh, and we had a great time. I mean, we've never been out there, so it was fun.
Now, what do you do late season like that, like saddle hunting? Like there's got to be its own trials and tribulations.
My system didn't really change. Are you talking from an equipment standpoint?
Yeah.
My system didn't change at all. I ran the exact same system I was running in November, like clothing wise and everything.
Okay. That's
So
just
was
got,
that-
yeah. No. That's what I was asking. Yeah. I mean, having that cold weather and like extra layers and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, it's the extra layers obviously add a step in the process. I'll tell you the best thing I've done with my cold weather gear is I added these down pants from King's Camo, and they're the best. Like I was running 2 pairs of them under my Sitka bibs, so I was like, I was toasty.
I may get in trouble for saying it, but I grew up running those out west. Yeah, they're worth it.
What do you mean you'll get in trouble? Is that not...
We have a camo sponsor.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
You're good. I didn't have to say anything. I'm just saying that the down pants, we'll leave it at that,
These are down pants. It's not
are
camo.
very, very beneficial.
Yeah.
Well, tell your camo sponsor to get some down pants. They're easy as hell to make, and they're so warm. I mean, they're great.
Well, I think we don't know. They do have some really good late season stuff. We've only used the early season stuff as of right now. So obviously it hasn't been cold enough. We can't wear it during turkey season, right? So we don't know what it's going to withstand.
Oh, you're Huntworth. You got the hat on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hear
good.
so many good things. Like people get so loyal with their hunting clothes, and it makes me laugh. Like a bunch of grown men commenting on what other grown men are.
No one gives a
wearing
shit
to go
what
hunting.
jeans or shirt you're wearing, but when you talk camo, it's like talking Gucci and Prada.
I see guys freaking out online, like making fun of like people wearing Sitka and stuff. I'm like, I bought it because they told me it was the warmest, so I freeze my ass off. But yeah, so but I hear a ton of good stuff about Huntworth, and
It has been pleasantly surprising. We have wrecked multiple brands of Camo's equipment. We can
I can't get through a pair of pants
these have
during turkey
not
seven
given us a single issue. I can usually blow something out in 3 days. And
that's exactly what I've heard multiple times about their stuff. So,
and especially they say that it's Sitka, but 20% of the price.
It's 80% performance of Sitka at 20% of the price.
well, that's great then.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they carry it at my favorite store, Meyer. I don't know if you guys have those around you, but
No, but we have them at Rural King, and they carry it there too.
Yeah. I've got some Huntworth camo in my gear bag for sure.
well, they, they're more of a premium camo now, right?
Oh yeah,
they're not.
they've stepped their game. It's not like when I first really started thinking Huntworth, I thought, okay, my gloves busted, I'm going to run down to the store and go grab a quick pair.
Yeah.
And you think of it as that like low end Walmart brand, but once you actually try their gear, like their full line, it's like, whoa, hold on, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
I've
that's
got
cool.
like a face mask from them for like real late season, and it's like when it's real cold, it's the best thing. I mean,
That's awesome. That's good to know.
Their early season stuff and their midweights, they performed very well. So
Very well.
it'll be
we're
fun
excited.
to put their cold season gear to work.
For sure.
But it's too damn hot to mess with that right now. I'm gonna be swinging out in trees in shorts for the moment.
Yeah.
It's definitely wild. It's been crazy. It's been crazy to try their new stuff, and everybody kind of has some really good stuff this season. We're looking forward to trying, honestly.
Yeah. New stuff is exciting, right? It's cool.
And people should be getting that stuff now. And that's one thing that we try to kind of break to everybody. Like, as far as like sticks, platforms, saddles, so on and so forth. Now's the time to try that stuff. That's why we're having a podcast in June, July,
Yeah, beginning
and
of
not
July.
doing this in September. Guys need to try this stuff out now. need to work on having this stuff and building that climb and messing around with that stuff and not waiting till that last minute. Because I think that's where you'll get a lot of failures.
I would agree with that. I mean, from the company side of things, right? Like if you're somebody who wants to try, if you're particular about your gear and you want to try it and make sure you like it, and then maybe exchange it for a different size or a different model, right? It's best to be doing that earlier rather than later, because it just goes back to that whole how the hunting industry works, right? Everybody orders a set amount of inventory at the beginning of the year, and then it comes in, and then when it's gone, right? I mean, for the most part, just because it's hard. Even now it's even harder, right, to get materials.
Right.
So it's even more important this year if you're one of those people who wants to try and maybe switch things up. So I would agree with that.
And especially saddle hunting. I mean, saddle hunting is one of those things that, like, say that I get, say a saddle and I don't like that saddle or the way that it fits. The saddle community is one of those things that you can go and sell that for almost the price that you paid for it and have it sold in a matter of a couple of days. And then you can move on to getting the next product and finding that thing that's right for you. Or you can land on the gold mine. What'd you say, Jake?
Or more than you paid for it. I've seen when, supplies when people aren't shipping stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the other thing is like, at least I can speak for ourselves. We never stick anybody with a product that they don't want. So you don't have, if you're on the fence, you don't have to hesitate about getting it and trying it, because we take that stuff back. We refund. If somebody's not happy with it, we refund it. I mean, we stand by our stuff. So that's never a problem.
And like the same as if you got the wrong size.
We just swap it right out. Yeah. Yep.
So you guys offer the regular and then the XL.
Yeah, so we have on the 2-panel method 2, we have the regular size and the XL, and then we have the single panel classic. That's a one size fits all. But you've got people who might try the single panel who decide they want the 2-panel, or you got somebody who goes with the 2-panel but they want the bigger size, or some combination of that. So.
And that's one thing I've really noticed, that the 2-panel, if you're new to saddle hunting, the 2-panel may not work for you.
It's not harder. It's just a different concept. It's not what people are used to seeing.
Right.
Ultimately, if you're somebody who's willing to spend 10 minutes in the yard at ground level to figure it out,
exactly,
where your comfort settings truly lie, it's easier to get comfortable in a 2-panel just because you have more adjustability. The problem is when people they want to get it in the mail and then run out to the woods and hunt.
They want ready to hunt out the box without doing their due diligence. And that's something I've seen with a couple of new hunters is, they want to jump right in, try the 2-panel. They come out, I put them in the 2-panel and they're like, oh, this is nice. And I said, well, real quick, put on the single panel. And they'll put on the single and go, whoa, I like this better. Why? And they said, well, it's just, I don't have to mess with as much. And I said, well, it's one of those things that's going to take time, because when you hike into the woods and you understand that diaper effect and the things dragging and everything there, you may decide that, it's good or bad. But then you do the same hunt with a 2-panel and you may get a whole different aspect of it. Mm-hmm. When you're sitting in that tree and you can adjust it up your back a little or bring it down a little or move it down your thighs, you have all of those comfort settings in the tree on an all-day sit that you don't get with a single. It just comes down to a matter of time in the seat.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the challenges, right? Is like the advantages that are a result of the adjustability of the 2-panel aren't easily realized when you sit in it for 3 minutes at ground level. They're realized when you're 4 hours in to a all-day sit.
Yep.
Right. That's where you realize the advantages is, then you can move those panels around and adjust to totally eliminate the fatigue you were feeling. With a single panel, your fatigue is there and it's there to stay because you're not moving anywhere. You're not moving pressure points anywhere.
Right.
So, but you're right. We deal with that all the time, right? Like it's hard to see that. They have to go actually hunt out of it. And walking in the woods, I mean, there's no argument for a single panel over a 2-panel. I mean, it's like, it's just a baggy diaper, right? Like you said. So, but that's okay. I mean, everybody has different preferences. So
That's why you
for a
offered.
reason.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people just like the single, and
Yeah.
we've seen it, we've run into it, and I do agree. There are times that I prefer the single panel over the double, but it's usually when I have real quick, easy access, and I know it's going to be just an evening hunt, and it's a comfortable setup. Yeah, I'll take the single because I'm not carrying a bunch of gear and other stuff. It's a preset, whatever. But if I'm going in somewhere unknown, oh, there's no way I'm going without the double.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you get into, that's another good point, is when you get into weird trees, right? If you get trees that are on angles, or you're on a weird, fork limb or something, that's where the adjustability really comes into play.
Right.
So, but like
Especially
you
as,
said, we offer both.
especially as bigger guys. You put too many pressure points in one place. Definitely.
Well,
Hey, that's why they have them.
That's right. That's why
Yeah.
they're there. There's nothing wrong with that. Guys, I do want to ask both of you guys one question. Is we kind of want to know what drives you guys outdoors?
I remember this from last year. I can't believe I didn't have a better answer for that prepared.
That's why we do it, because it makes it organic and fun.
I'm just kidding. No,
I'm going to have to go with a non-hunting related one for this time of year, to be honest with you.
Perfect.
It's been like freaking, we were just at a concert the other day, Alex and I, it was like 100 degrees. So I just want to get out on the lake and do some, bass fishing or crappie fishing or whatever, get on the water this time of year. I mean, there's nothing better right now. And then, soon we'll be getting back after those whitetails and start that summer scouting and dropping some cameras in some places we're excited about this year. So, but yeah, right now I'm enjoying the summertime. So
Is the pan fishing and stuff like that really big where you guys are at?
well, we're in Michigan. So Minnesota, they call it like the land of 10,000 lakes, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Oh, yeah.
We've got like 13,000 lakes or something like that. So we're the Great Lakes state. We got lots of fishing opportunities.
They got a lot of lakes, but yours are more in great.
Yeah, there you go. We gotta get you on a Pure Michigan commercial.
That's what we need.
Gotta do it in the smooth jazz voice.
That is good. I like that.
That's why I wish he talked more, because it would be way better than me talking. How about you, Alex? What drives you outdoors, buddy?
Well, considering my current situation where my house is like a war zone, I'm looking forward to some peaceful me time in the woods, just by myself, which hasn't existed. I don't think I've been alone in a couple months, right? So, hunting and fishing in the outdoors has always been about that for me. Is just, I love that it's my experience. No, I don't have a boss telling me what to do with it. I can enjoy the outdoors however I want. And that's what I love about it. I love the purity of it. And man, I can't wait to get in the tree. So.
Can't beat
Something wrong with
that.
that.
I mean, that, especially in your situation, I hope you get many of them and often. And I hope that you can drag Jake and them out to just make it that much better. Go have some guy time.
Oh yeah, Jake doesn't know this yet, but I think we're
Al's
gonna.
daughter's an angel. She's like the most peaceful, perfect baby you ever seen. Al's just a drama queen. But I guess I haven't been up all night with her either, though. So I'm gonna bias.
I just can't believe we stayed up fishing all night all those years. Like, I don't know how we did that. I mean, I wasn't even. I don't even do anything at night, right? I'm just like sitting on my ass. But I wake up and I feel like I got hit by a bus.
Hey, Kevin and I were actually talking about, we might try to go up with our buddy Matt here and the Big Manistee River and fish the Michigan hex hatch on Thursday night. I don't know if it'll happen or not. We'll see. But
What is that? The hex hatch?
so yeah, the hex hatch, or that was it, Hexagenia limbata. It's the largest mayfly in the world. So and Michigan is famous for those in June and early July. So I mean,
Hex is a broad term for, it's the genus or species, one of the two, for mayfly, right? And we have big major hatches here in the summer, and it's been really hot. So I'm sure it's just popping off. The Michigan guys up there are like, shut the hell up. But I mean, I'm sure it's going right now.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I definitely hope you guys get up into it.
Yeah, it's a big mayfly, so you can if you're fly fishing, throwing a bigger fly is typically just a little bit easier. You got to be a little less precise about it, but it is tricky because usually you're fishing from 10 p.m. to 1 in the morning, so it's dark, and you got to listen for that sound of that trout taking the fly.
Right.
You don't always see.
So you're fishing them at night?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's even later than that. I mean, you'll go until 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like 2 a.m. is really good, and
I think, probably peaks at about midnight and then just goes after that.
Yeah.
Wow. You don't hear much about trout fishing at night.
No,
It's got big here.
most of the dry fly stuff out west is during the day, and I guess maybe that is kind of unique to me. It's always been a part of our life here in Michigan,
Right.
so I guess we don't think much of it, but
The trout are a little bit more pressured here, so they don't like coming out in nice sunny days, and they like to hide and
Stay down
hunt under
low.
the cover of darkness.
I wonder if that works for deer too. Go get them at night.
yeah, I'm sure. Big ones, just like the big trout.
That's right.
Gotta get them at night.
You got to dry fly them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, before we go too far down that rabbit hole,
You started it.
I know it's my fault. I couldn't resist.
You weren't the first guy that ever thought of something like that.
Yeah, well, I didn't say about bringing a light. Just saying. I'm going to keep it sportsman here. They can't see, I can't see. Fair
It's
game.
fair that way. Yeah.
It's fair choice. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Where can everybody find you guys?
Just the normal channels, right? Look, social media, Instagram, Facebook. We have an email list. All new products go out to our email list first. We do that just to help with inventory control, and we also want to make sure that the people who are loyal to us, we like to kind of give them that opportunity as a thank you. So the email list is an important form of communication for us. But a lot of stuff goes out on the social channels. So
Don't forget about your TikTok. Your pretty face has been all over TikTok.
I forgot. We were told that
Even I was on TikTok.
Oh, man. You're a step ahead of me.
Is that is that snip of me dropping my recurve on the deck on TikTok yet? Or
Yeah, but also that shot at Total Archery Challenge where you snuck it through those trees is on there. So
oh yeah. That
so
was
it it balances out.
opposite ends of the spectrum there.
One thing about the TikTok is you guys dive into little tiny tidbits about what's going on and kind of steps and procedures of your products, which is kind of cool to follow along also.
Yeah, I mean we get a ton of questions, as you can imagine, about our products, and so we're trying to get some more easily digestible educational content. We obviously have videos on YouTube, but even me watching a long video is kind of, by the end of the video, I don't remember what happened in the beginning of the video. So we're trying to just do a little more digestible content, just in case there's a little tip you're looking for or something like that. So yeah, we're on TikTok too. So
Perfect.
Yeah, watch TikTok and light bulb will start going off for you.
That's what I hear, but I disagree.
yeah.
Anyways, Alex, Jake, we appreciate you guys jumping on here. I know you guys have more than enough going on in your lives, so the time is greatly appreciated.
Hey, we appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah.
Anytime.
You know,
And
very
we definitely
much.
will need to do more particular. I'm really feeling an itch for one about nighttime fly fishing.
Hey,
Yeah.
we would love to do that. And one of our good buddies is a guide up north, and he's just a wealth of knowledge, and he'd be he's a fun dude too. He'd be great to have on.
That
Let's do
sounds
it.
like that could be a soon future episode. You know, maybe recap you guys' luck this week when you guys get out.
Yeah. Yeah. We'd love to come back on. So
Now you're
anytime.
giving me more motivation to make it happen. So that's all.
Let's go, Jake. Oh no,
You
that's let's
guys
go,
need the
Brandon.
break.
I
Yes,
almost,
we all need that break.
Yeah.
You guys having a great year.
Oh, geez. Well, before we fall off our bikes, guys, we just want to say again, thanks for joining us, and for everyone listening, man, thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.
Thanks, guys.